Um, Good morning or good evening. Nowadays, I hear lots of Tibetans said 3 times good. I mean, some people are morning, some people are evening, some people are mid. So they said 3 times good. So here, I think all 3 different time zones. So with that wish, and but good is not come from by wishing. If that is possible, then it already came. Everything should be perfect, because from the past, even this eon, many Buddha comes, and they wish it, and countless of Bodhisattva and Buddha and Bodhisattva came to wish. They have altruistic motivation of benefit sentient beings. So from their point, from the beginning to generating bodhicitta to and until all their continually all enlightened activities, their main goal is wishing to be other to happiness. So if by just that wishing we can become happy or free from suffering, then we already have that happiness or free from suffering. But reality is by just wishing, happy day cannot become happy. By wishing, healthy day or a healthy life, long life, it not become that way. Because all phenomena are, all the function with the cause ahead. It means that all phenomena are have to be cause go ahead. So what is the cause of a happiness? What is the cause of a long life? What is the cause of a peaceful? As practice of the Dharma. So for that practice of the Dharma, before we starting practice, we have to know the foundation. Where is the base? What base we can practice the Dharma? So like if you want to build house, you have to find make sure the base of the house make sure it's really stable. Like if you try to build house in the ground is not really stable, then you cannot hope that house will be there forever. I mean, a long time. House will be the safety house. So same way, when we want to practice Dharma to build a cause to happiness and peace and nirvana, you have to find the base. So what is the base? I said, precious human body is the base. In this text, that Phagmodrupa's the text called the Buddhist manner of engaging in the Buddhist teachings, or gradually manner of the engaging in the Buddhist teachings. In this text, or same as a jewel ornament of liberation by Khenpo, both said a base of the practice in Dharma is the precious human body. So human normally divided into two. One is called the precious human body, and another one is in the Tibetan we call the milu jurbu. Jurbu means that someone is a meaningless, someone is a someone is a really couldn't recognize what is right, what is wrong. That kind of a bad condition also you can use as a bad condition, or sometimes it's called jurbu as a source of suffering. So there's two kind of a human body. So we have to recognize, make sure we have the preciousness. So what make us a precious is there's two things: freedom and endowment. So if you are free from those unfavorable condition life, such as helping hungry ghosts and so, those 8 different type of life, then you have a freedom. If you are one of those 8 birth, then you are lack of free for the practice Dharma. So we have to recognizing, make sure we are free from those 8 unfavorable condition life. Then not just only freedom is not good enough, because if that is freedom alone is good enough, then like a tree, house, rock, mountain, water, all the phenomena, other phenomena who are free from those 8 unfavorable conditions can become a Buddha. But they are impossible. Why? Because they don't have those 10 endowment. So with the free from the 8 unfavorable condition, then make sure also we have those 10 endowment. So we already talked from the 5 endowment, condition 5 endowment from ourselves, like being born in the human, have all the sense of a faculty, and not commit the heinous crime, have a devotion to the 3 jewels, and born in the central land. So those we talked last Saturday. Now today we're going to talk about the 5 favorable condition or 5 endowment from the others. So this text said the 5 favorable conditions that derive from others. So also not our alone, we cannot become a Buddha. Our alone, by our own, we cannot managing to engaging on the path up to the Buddhahood. So we need to rely to the someone else. So that only that way we can get to the Buddhahood. So that way this is a 5 favorable conditions that derive from others. So first one said, first to meet with the condition that Buddha has come to this world. Why Buddha have to come this on the planet? Or where's the sentient beings? Reason is without the Buddha's coming to the samsara and guiding to the path to the enlightenment, we samsaric being, our own cannot be kept. We are not capable to find a way to path to the enlightenment. We cannot find. So only we are we have a chance to become enlightenment if a Buddha come on the planet and share his wisdom to us. Then we can find a way to path to enlightenment. But Buddha is not always come on the planet, especially this Nirmanakaya Buddha, not always come to the, in the samsara, not because Buddha is busy to somewhere, or not because Buddha Buddha doesn't want to show up. Because even Buddha come in front of us, we couldn't recognize it as a Buddha. So that reason, remember last week mentioned, only who can see the Nirmanakaya Buddha is the Bodhisattva or Sharvaka and Paticca Buddha, who are dwell in the, abiding in the path of the accumulation great. Only they can see Buddha as a Nirmanakaya Buddha. So because of the other time, there's not that many beings who have reached that state. So that way, many of us, we couldn't see Buddha as a even Buddha comes. So that way, like here said, in our world system, in this particular world system, as talking about, there's a mini galaxy of the system. This is particularly our world system talking about. So indoors, no Buddha had appearance during the 40 earlier Kalpa. So this is each complete cycle with system that is called the Kalpa. Okay, so before actually go through the text, I will explain you that Kalpa is. And you have to see this way. Kalpa system have 4 durations. Empty time, building, I mean that the Kalpa is a building all complete outer continent of the wall system and inner sentient being completely building and remaining, exists and destroyed. So divide it into 4. So first one is same time, all those 4 are equally same time, each have 1 quarter of time zone. So how do we see that time zone? Is our sentient beings from the beginning of the starting the living, as when sentient beings are age is called the limitless. From the limitless to reduce, every 100 years, 1 year reduce and reach to the 10 years old. And beings live on the 10 years old. Then from the 10-year-olds to increasing every 200 years, 1 year, and reach to the 80,000. 80,000 lifespan. That's one hook. From the 80,000 to until come back to the 10 years. So like that 18 times. Then last one is from the 10 years to until the limitless age is called the final one. And those is basically you can count as a 20 times, increasing and decreasing 20 times every 100 years or 200 years, the 100 years increase or decrease. 1 year. So that take that long to 1 quarter. That is called the living quarter. Then it start the destroying. Destroying quarter is also takes same amount of that. So there's a 4 for those 20 is called the intermediate kalpa. So each intermediate 20 intermediate kalpa total is like 80 intermediate kalpa is a 1 great kalpa. So here said in the past during the 40 earlier kalpa is a 40 great earlier kalpa, and the fortune no Buddha will appearance, and there's no Buddha came on those kalpas. And in the future 60 future kalpa in the great kalpa, also in their single fortune also not come Buddhas. So these 2 earlier 40 and future 60 Buddha will not come on this planet. So only this time Buddha comes. So said this is called the fortunate fortunate kalpa. There are a period of destruction, emptiness, and becoming. So this is it. There's a 4 period of destruction, as when start destroying the earth with the sentient beings, then empty state, totally empty, and rebuilding, becoming. So those are 3 quarters. They're consisting of the 20 intermediate kalpa, each altogether 60, during which Buddha has not possible to be anything. So in those 60 intermediate kalpa, Buddha will never come on the planet. And also during the 20 intermediate kalpa of the period of the abiding universe, this is right now, Buddha does not come during the cycle of increasing lifespan called the yapel. So from the 10 years old to until 80,000 lifespan. Increasing time, Buddha will not come. Why? Because at those time, suffering of the being is small and that they have almost no dissatisfaction with the samsara. So due to this, Buddha cannot teach them. Now we have the age of the long decline. It's called the Yato Rinpo, and which is the lifespan individual decline from the limitless to 10 years. And every 100 years, 1 year decrease. So earlier lifespan was limitless. Now we call the 100 years. And it is slowly decreasing until human being lifespan is the longest one, is stay 10 years. So that was until now more than 4 Buddha comes. So there's a 4 Buddha camps. First, when sentient beings age, lifespan was 80,000 years. That time Buddha called the Gagu Janda. And later, when sentient beings lifespan was 40,000 years old, that time Buddha come the golden sage, also Sirtu, called Kanaka Muni. Buddha's name is Kanaka Muni. And when sentient beings lifespan was 20,000 years old, and Kashyapa Buddha came. Now this is called the 100 years lifespan, as 100 years Shakyamuni Buddha came. So in this system, there will be 1,002 Buddha will come on this planet. Also 4 Buddha already comes, including Shakyamuni Buddha. So that way said. Until now, more than 4 Buddha have come. After this lifespan will decreasing to 10 years, and then it will be gradually increase again in 80,000 years. At the 18 cycle of this kind, all of the 1,000 Buddha will appear during the time of a decreasing lifespan, because of to have a Buddha come to this world and a very rare occur. So that reason, when you look all those many kalpa Buddha not come, even in this kalpa, Buddha only come during the 1/4 of the kalpas, 1/4. Even that 1/4 have a divided into 2, increasing and decreasing. During the increasing of the age, Buddha will not come. Only decreasing time. So when you look this way, Buddha only come 15% time of one complete kalpa. Only 15% time. From those 15% time, also between the Kashyapa Buddha to Shakyamuni Buddha, some period of time there's no Dharma. From again later, other Buddha will come. Also same from one Buddha to another Buddha period of time there is no Dharma. So when we look that one, from the completely one cycle of existence of one kalpa, one great kalpas, maybe only 10% of time Buddha's teaching exists. So when we look this way, Buddha coming on the planet is a really small time. Only 10%, maybe around only 10% of time of the cycle, our kalpa, Buddha come and give teachings. So other 90%, there's no Buddha, there are no Dharma, there are no. So that's showing us how rarely Buddha comes on the samsara, in the samsara to manifest as a Nirmanakaya Buddha to give teaching, like right now we have this teaching, like Shakyamuni Buddha taught those Dharma. So those are only like maybe 10% of time. So that is showing us how, small time of a period of time Buddha comes. So that way, that reason saying is very rare to occur Buddha on the planet. Okay, so I think I try to make more clear. Maybe if this is a little bit too confused, I'm sure you heard this many times called the Great Kalpa. Great, I don't know what's called in the English. There's a Tibetan word Kalpa. If you know the English word, please help me. So, this Great Kalpa is divided into the 4. Okay, how to know? It's called formation Kalpa. So 4 different kind of. So this is called the formation Kalpa, persistent Kalpa, destruction Kalpa, and the vacuous or empty Kalpa. So then each Kalpa of those 4 duration linked is this way. Look, every 100 years, 1 year increase. Then people's lifespan from 10 years to become 80,000. How to become 80,000? Every 100 years, 10 year, 1 year increase. Then when reach to the 80,000 years, then every 100 years, 1 year decrease. So first one is increasing, then decreasing. This is called a loop. So this kind of 20 loops is called a 20 intermediate Kalpa. That is the one is called the persistent Kalpa. It means the duration Kalpa. So that kind of 20 times 4, what called the formation Kalpas, same as a 20 times linked. You're destroying destruction Kalpas 20 times linked, and stay empty Kalpa 20. So that is the 80 times, called the 80 intermediate Kalpa, is the one great Kalpa. Then from those 18 intermediate Kalpas, those 3, formation, destruction, empty, there's no Buddha. Then persistent or persistent Kalpa, I think you can use as persistent, or some other they use as some dictionary they use also enduring Kalpa. There's 2. One is called the increasing lifespan and decreasing lifespan. During those increasing lifespans, no Buddha comes. Only Buddha come when decreasing lifespans, from the 80,000 to becoming 10 years old. So that time Buddha comes. Also those time, Buddha always not come. Period of time, there's no Buddha. Like between the Kashyapa Buddha to Shakyamuni Buddha, period of time, long time, there is no teaching, no Dharma. So when we look this way, that way I said maybe around like 9 or 10% of 100, those 80 intermediate Kalpa, only 9 or 10% of time Buddha comes. So that is how small number compared to the, there's no Buddha. Even this is called the fortunate Kalpa. We're talking about the fortunate Kalpa. And the other Kalpa, like earlier 40 Kalpa, there's no Buddha at all. And will be next, after this fortunate Kalpa is finished, next Kalpa, there's 60 of them, there's no Buddha at all. So when we look this way, and Buddha coming on the planet, giving Dharma teaching, I say, not every time, only sometime. That way, this kind of that way we are the precious one. Why we are the precious one? Because we're born time of a really fortunate time that we have chance to receive the teachings. We have chance to practice the Dharma. This kind of fortunate is not come all the time. Really a small number. That way called the precious human body. Why? Because we have that we meet with that preciousness of we're born in the dream shape of that kind of preciousness time. So so I think we should think that way. Okay, then said that is the first one, first favorable condition. Second is the meeting with the condition that the Buddha teach the Dharma is difficult. So even Buddha comes, okay, that's a small period of time Buddha comes. He cannot teach Dharma immediately. Like here said, destroyer of the samsara, that is one Buddha's name. It's a Sanskrit idea made Karkut Chanda, Krakuk Chanda. I think so, Tibetan we call the Kwaji as a destroyer of the samsara. Then second Buddha of this fortunate is called the Golden Muni, the Kanaga Muni. So and other like a Kashyapa Buddha's time also. And those time they didn't give Dharma immediately. Why they didn't give Dharma immediately? Why? Because they did not see anyone who could be proper vessel for their teachings. So because need someone who can understand their teachings. Otherwise, like if you go to outside and try to give teaching to the, someone who doesn't understand your language or someone who doesn't understand what you're saying, you're wasting your time. There's no benefit. Same way, Buddha have to find, suitable vessel to share the teachings. Did not teach the Dharma. Also, the Victoria Transcendent Shakyamuni, after having resolved not to teach Dharma, did not teach 7 weeks. So our Shakyamuni Buddha, look, that Buddha become enlightenment on the lunar 4th month, 15th day. And the first Dharma teaching is the lunar 6th month, 4th day. During those period of time, there's a 7 week. Buddha not give teachings. Why? Not because Buddha doesn't want to share, because Buddha was looking at a suitable vessel to give teachings. First, he was looking to those, earlier his teacher who met him. He met earlier before he became Buddha. But when he searching them, they all died. All of them gone. No one is alive. So when he was searching, then only life is there. So he have a 5 companion monk. When he was doing the ascetic, hardship meditation, but they left him because of some kind of misunderstood they misunderstood about the Buddha, so they left. So Buddha went to see them, travel from the Buddha Gaya to Varanasi, try to find them, because not just because Buddha don't have anyone around him. There's a lot of people around him. They come to receive teachings, but they are not really suitable to Buddha share his wisdom. So then he traveled to the long distance, from the Bodh Gaya to Varanasi. It's a really long distance. Then he shared to those monks, So that way it took for 49 days to Buddha can find a really suitable vessel to give teaching. So that way, even Buddha comes, they not give the immediate Dharma teachings. So before Brahma and Indra over the 1,000 spoke golden wheel requires to the Dharma, therefore the find the Buddha teach the Dharma is very ready. So then when Buddha went to Varanasi, and Indra and Brahma, who normally local people worship them, they come to prostration and offering the Dharma wheel. Now we call the Dharma wheel. That Dharma wheel offering to the Buddha. So when they offering to the Dharma wheel Buddha, and around that time in the Saranath. Saranath is the place where Buddha give teachings. There's a deer park. Actually, many deer live there, wild deer. So the two deer came, just gazing to the wheel. That way, large Tibetan temple, we have the Dharma wheel in the center, and the side is two deers. Reason is when in Burma offering golden Dharma wheel to the Buddha and requires the Dharma teaching, two deer came gazing to the deer. So that memory we building on the monastery, this Dharma wheel and the deer has come from there. So then finally Buddha give teachings to the. Even Buddha took 49 days to find a suitable vessel to share his teaching. So that way, it's not easy to, even Buddha come, many times Buddha's not giving teaching. Why? Because there's no really suitable vessel to share his wisdom. So that way, even teaching is not that often, find even Buddha come on this planet. So, Buddha came like first, he was in the family house. Then age 29 or 30, he left from home. And age 35 or 6, he become enlightenment. So first, he's age 35. There are no Dharma teachings. After that, from the age 35 to 82, then he give continually teaching. So even Shakyamuni Buddha's lifetime, not fully give Dharma teachings. Earlier 35 years, no teachings. So that way, even the Buddha comes, teaching is also rare. So then here said, in the 5,000 year which Muni's teaching will remain, we are now in the 60 period, whereas life people are considered either 70 or in the 60. In case it's a finish for 500 year, the Dharma will be more merely by present, by appearance. Therefore, it's difficult to meet with the Dharma that still persists. So what does this mean? That in the Mini Sutra mentioned, Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching how long will stay? Said 5,000 years. That 5,000 years is divided into 3. First, 1,500 years called the fruition time. So fruition time means there are many arhat or non-returner or streaming realization will come. Those 1,500 years. Then next 1,500 years, there are many great practitioner comes. Training of the morality, training of the wisdom, training of the samadhi. So called in Tibetan called the Tubedu. It means the accomplishment times. Then next 1,500 years is called the Lungidu. It means the transmission times. Many scholar will come. So that is like 4,500. Then the last 500 years is called the just merely sign. It means the only people wearing the robes. There are no knowledge about the Dharma, no instruction for the practice of meditation, anything. Just people have some statues and the robes, and they portray like some kind of like a Dharma, but they don't have any knowledge. They don't have any experience. They don't have any realization. So that is divided into those called the 5,000s. So that way, so Buddha's teaching is also not going to stay continually. This period of time of the existence of the teaching is only 5,000 years, like Shakyamuni Buddha says. After that, there's no teaching a long period of time until Buddha Midriya comes. So that is take long time to meeting with from Shakyamuni Buddha to until long Buddha Midriya. There are long period of time. Why? Because Shakyamuni Buddha's time too, and people's age is decreasing until they become 10 years old. From the 10 years old to then, there's some kind of incident happen. Then they started increasing until people's age reached to the 80,000 years. When people's age reach to the 80,000 years life living, that time Buddha Midriya comes. So if you count how long will it take, every 100 years, 1 year increasing. So it take from the 10 to 80,000, how long will it take? So that period of time, there's no Buddha's teaching. So even Buddha give teachings, remaining of the teaching is a really short time. So that is what here means. Okay, then fourth one said, meeting with the condition having person who follow to the practice of the Dharma. This is talking about the teacher. Okay, because without the teacher, we cannot practice the Dharma. So a teacher have to be someone who follow to the Dharma. So when you look this way, from this point of the view of the great vehicle, is the Mahayana vehicle, one find a very few who are not concerned with the aim of this life or samsara for their own peace and happiness, individual liberations. So set their mind to be meaning of the Dharma in order to attain the enlightenment for the benefit of others. Therefore, persons who are practicing Dharma are hard to find. So this way, I mean, we look our own life. We are called the Dharma practitioner. Okay, how many times you practice Dharma for this life's concern of your health, concern of your wealth, concern of your accomplishing your goal? You know, how many times you did practice Dharma, and also concern about next life, reborn on the higher realm. And how many times we did truly, you know, wishing to be liberation for benefit of sentient beings. So that is a show us it become less actually. So that way, truly, who are, you know, authentically having bodhicitta, person with an authentically having bodhicitta is really difficult to find. Even there's hundreds of monks or nuns or Dharma practitioners, you cannot find that many true bodhisattva who have an altruistic motivation. You know, everybody is a kind of like a self-interest. Everybody is focused on their own reputation, you know, wealth, monastery, you know, there's some kind of name and fame gain. So that way, finding actually person truly following to the Dharma is really difficult to find. So I'm not saying it's all those great masters are not following to the Dharma, but also we have a not good karma to see that kind of quality sometimes. So because of our mental projection is really negative, we only see the bad things. I think maybe can say that way. So that one. And finally, it's difficult to find the person who have a compassion for others. For the there's two kinds of compassion. So one is a teacher with a compassion for others without being caught up as a concern of the acquiring possession, status of respect, and so forth himself. He teach other the Dharma with a benevolent mind. Or so that is mean that really without the self-concerned, finding someone who truly compassionate one is a really difficult to find. Then other one is a compassionate benefactor. It means the sponsor. You know, especially monks and nuns, they don't have an income. They have to rely on the sponsor. I know, I mean, not just only monks and nuns, also lay people. Some people really want to do retreat. I know some people, they really want to go to retreat, but there are no sponsor for them. Nobody helping them financially. Without the financial help, they cannot do those things, especially in the Western culture. So some people want to retreat, but they not have enough supporter, the compassionate one who will really support them. So that reason, finding, you know, the compassionate supporter, benefactor is really difficult. So without thinking of getting something cut on it or benefit. So I think maybe this is my misunderstanding, but it seems like when people come to offering to the High Lama, they have no problem to offering. They have no problem to offering $100. Easily they can offer. But when people come to the giving to the destitute one, really need one, even $1, they hesitate. Why this happen is because when they have a sense of, if I offer to the High Lama, I will gain great merit, so I get benefit. But if I give those destitute one, I get nothing. So that way, I'm not going to waste my money on them. So that is ultimately all those giving, offering is a self-centered. So that way I said, without thinking of getting something out of it for self. So that's not going to find that many sponsors. So every sponsor, I'm not saying everyone, but there are a lot of them. They always have some kind of a agenda, some kind of like a what called that? Maybe recognition, some kind of a fame. There's some hidden meaning, some things that is based on that they help. So that way they are not really compassionate one. That's not involvement of the compassion. This is selfishness, So when we look those all things, everything, then it's not easy to have those 5 favorable conditions which is come from other. Okay, then said as both these are very hard to find nowadays. If one practices Dharma from the bottom of one's heart, one will find some few. So your truly practitioner is becoming less and less. Nonetheless, since a person who kept the continue of the transmission of the oral instruction from the time of the Buddha until now, free from admixture. So free from admixture means that adding our own conceptual, that's called the admixture. Means we cannot put our conceptual thought, Then distortions, it means like changing the meaning of the word. So that kind of cannot do. Who keep the continuing of the word of the continue of their sacred bond unchanged. I think this one is I'm not sure how to translate this one, but maybe need a little bit change this one. Because it's a kind of like, basically it's almost the same as somebody who have not bad intention. Because sometimes we use in Dharma or with a bad intention. So I think something like that, but I'm not sure exactly word for this. Not secret bond, as you may think the Vajrayana, secret bond. It's not talking about that. Gu like Nyembe cell member, in Tibetan said. It may Gu mean the mind stream. Nyembe cell means the mixture of a bad intention, like some kind of a bad I think bad intention is close to something like that. I think this needs change. So who are capable of the knowing that will be benefit for others are very rare. After those who are alive now have passed away, there is a concern that they will become extremely rare in the future. So now we look at our teacher. Many of those great teachers pass away, passing. Some are getting old. Some still, even they are alive, but they are not really have that much energy to give teaching as before. And as many great teachers, in my own life, I'm lost many of my teachers. I mean, like most of them are gone. So when we look this way, it's a finding, especially the qualified teacher, is really difficult. So what saying is that once seems like here is focusing too much criticizing other. It's not about the criticizing other. So what saying is that you have to find someone have known that kind of faults. Once you find them, cherish them. How to cherish them is a study, contemplate, meditate. Don't waste your time to chit-chatting. Don't waste your time to hanging here, there. Just whenever you get chance, talk to them. You don't need to be requires teacher to Dharma teaching. Just the teacher put on the throne, you sit down. Those are not necessary. Even you are eating, even you are walking, even you are just any kind of time, keep the conversation alive with the and talk according to the Dharma. So don't waste our time to try to discuss something that is meaningless. So if you keep, and in the past time, all those great masters, they receive many teachings, from their guru. A lot of those teachings are when they're eating, when they're walking. Like Jidin Sunggun give most of Gungchik teaching to the Chenga Sherab June when he massaging his leg. Doing the massage, and because it is some older leg and knee, and he giving the massage or giving oil, things like that. At that time, he asked that question, and Jidisumi give the answer. So they didn't just chit chat, just talk about the Dharma. So that is talking about when you find some qualified teacher, just don't waste with them your time with chit-chatting, mundane discussion, talking those things. Just rather utilizing that precious time with the spiritual master, whatever according to the Dharma. Then when they gone, even the physically they gone, they will stay with you. How they stay with you is that oral instruction come from the Buddha too until your guru is alive in your heart. Then guru is always with you. Why? Guru is the wisdom. That wisdom is with you. So that is here saying is when we get that kind of fortunate, don't waste that fortunate time as a meaningless way. Okay, then here said, you may think, what is the necessity of obtaining this freedom and endowment that are so hard to find? So answer is based on this person will be gained the benefit of a higher realm and liberation. So if we don't have this base of a precious human life, it's really difficult to gain the higher realm, like a reborn in the human realm or God realm, or permanent happiness, effortless happiness of the liberation is cannot. So that way have to be gain those. So here said Chandragumi, one of the great scholar. I think same time as a Chandragiti, great teacher of the middle way. I think around same time. So he wrote one his disciple, kind of a royal family. I think he was a royal family, but he disrobed. So he wrote that disciple said later to the disciples, having attained this, you will cross the ocean of a birth and also plant the seed of a bodhicitta virtue. The benefit of this human existence is greater by far than the wish-fulfilling jewel who would let it go to waste, because he disrobed, first become ordained, disrobed, because that reason. And Chandragiti, Chandragumi wrote his disciple this later. So main point is saying is human body can do greater benefit than wish-fulfilling jewels, because wish-fulfilling jewel can gain only fulfill your mundane benefit. But a human body, further than that, is it can give you liberation or nirvana, that which is a wish-fulfilling jewel cannot give you. So that way, when compared to the wish-fulfilling jewel and the human body, actually human body is a human, precious human is the more way far away, what called that, precious than visionary jewels. Okay, engaging on the conduct of Bodhisattva, Shantideva said, rely on the ship of the human existence, cross the great ocean of suffering. Later on this ship will not hard to gain. So it not sleep while there is a time, you fool. So really harsh. So example of our human body is a ship. And we have a really dangerous water coming. So only the ship can cross you from the dangers, Then so ocean. If you touch the ocean of the stay in the water, there is a danger will come. So you must cross the water. So how you cross is you have to rely on the boat or something. So that way your body is like ship. You have to use to cross the water. Make sure that cross the suffering of the water. If you not cross the suffering of the water, just hang there, you are a really foolish one. So that way, this kind of a human body, which is like same as a boat, is a really difficult to find. When you have that one chance, should use like this way. You are in the island. Okay, that island going to hit soon. Really big tsunami or danger one coming. So only one boat will go from that island to cross to the main line or somewhere safer area. Then will not come the boat again today or maybe not often. So when that chance come, you immediately get on the boat. You're not going to hesitate. You're not going to wait next time. You immediately get on the boat and try to go faster across. Same way, when we have this only, rare chance of the human body of the boat, at that time, must use that chance and cross the suffering of the ocean of the samsara and reach to the nirvana. If we don't do that one, then we are the foolish one. Something like that. Okay. So my advice, now Phagmodrupa said, the reason which gave the importance of the above is consists from if having just as an insignificant mean of livelihood, like not that expensive, not really important things. For fear of losing it, you constantly make an effort. So even we have not that really insignificant things in our life, we always worry about losing them. Then it's appropriate not to waste, but use for the great purpose. This human body is difficult to gain and easily destroyed. So that way, even we cherishing all those insignificant. What is insignificant is that much benefit, and it will, going to lose, or it are not going to get help that much, but still, we really cherish on them. Then the human body will give us a great benefit of a liberation where don't, where we don't use them to, great purpose. Wasting is a foolish one. I think something like that. This was a chapter 3 of the gradually manner of the engaging in the Buddha's teaching, dwelling with the freedom and endowment, difficulty to obtain. So we finish this chapter. Then maybe we'll stop here today. Thank you. Chanchu sem joy Rinpoche ma ye pa nai ye joy ye pa nyam pa me pa ya kone kondo
power so Tata Konda Tam Jeki Dusundo Sabata Yube Kive Zawad Tata Sije Tanja Yundo Lana Mamba Yanda Bazobe Janjo Rinpoche Toba Joje Shija Konse Kunji Chuji Tendena La Wanda Tekumba Renje Beki Tembasit Shedo Tosan Gombe Zinjoje Kombana da Katan Tumba Ye Malona de Jawa Chitoba Sajun Kumboti Gorenji Temba Tashi Yudin Nenjo.